August 24th, 2009. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 73.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Well, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and with me is just Steve and John, because Brian is, what can we make up for Brian today?
I don't know, but it's going to be 1/4 less good. So don't even bother listening to this episode, because it's not going to be up to your normal standards.
It'll be 1/4 less punny?
It'd be 100% less punny, probably.
But you know, when he returns from the wilds of Africa, we will be regaled with tales of his adventures.
Aha.
Yeah, he'll be playing that PlayStation 3 game for a while. Which, did that game ever come out, by the way? Africa?
I do not believe it has in fact released yet.
Was that a Wii game?
No, it's
Nope.
a PlayStation 3 game where you...
It should have been a Wii game, though. I mean, it's Pokemon Snap in Africa, so
Oh.
I don't know why Nintendo isn't making it.
Well,
So, anyway, do we have anything else before we actually get to the real news here?
You always ask the hard questions.
I got nothing. I just had to watch that really awful episode of Star Trek. So
You can describe the episode of Star Trek
it's
as
the drug episode.
Which one?
There's only one. The other ones are like the, you know,
How detailed can you get before it's a copyright violation?
well, yeah, I mean, there's like the, drunk episode, which is a different episode. That happened in season 1. Everybody gets drunk.
And that one's far funnier, really.
Well, it is. I mean, you got Denise Crosby banging Brent Spiner. How can you go wrong?
Is that when he becomes fully functional?
Well, he already was fully functional. He-
That's when it becomes revealed that
yes,
he was
that
fully
he was
functional.
fully functional.
Ah. Well, let's get on with the news since, watching Wesley Crusher trying to, get into
Ashley Judd's.
Ashley Judd's jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Just brings up too many
He
painful
has
similarities for
He
you.
has some really awful choice in women. The last one he was going after was like a shapeshifter and like the giant hairy beast, literally.
It's a problem.
It is. He's
So
it's
basically,
good thing he's flying around the universe with a traveler, because otherwise he'd be still striking out.
yeah, he'd be getting it on with a furry.
Striking out in Starfleet.
He's
Mm.
like the Leisure Suit Larry version of Kirk.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So first up, the PS3 Slim announced will be $299.99. This comes as a surprise to no one.
Well, yeah.
Or at least no one who paid any attention to internet news for the last 3 months.
Exactly. So, but this means that you will be getting a PS3 Slim?
I don't know. I mean, I want to get a PS3 eventually, but $300 is still a lot of money. And I don't know, there's, maybe a handful of games on the PS3.
So there's more than one that you would want.
Yeah.
Well, what
Yeah, I'm
about
sure there is
well,
now.
well, what about that handy SMS feature that the PlayStation 3 has?
Oddly, not a killer app for me. My phone still works fine for those.
So, Steve, any interest in the PS3 now that it's cheap and thin?
Still, for me, I mean, I think about it every time they drop the price, and for me, it's still a $300 Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
So
Is that cheap for a Blu-ray player?
no, but it is updatable, which is an interesting and useful feature. But on the other hand, how many Blu-rays do I own?
None.
Yeah, so
And-
I'm paying $300 so I can buy more stuff again.
It's not like all the other Blu-ray players aren't updatable.
Well, some of the really low-end ones aren't updatable, but
Right.
whatever.
But if you're buying one that cheap, really your plan is wait for it to break and buy another one from Walmart afterwards.
Correct.
Wow.
You can get it for like $100 now.
Oh,
We're pretty close anyway. You can buy the Blu-ray drives for pretty cheap, but
yeah, but
I've never been a watch a movie on your computer type guy.
and I'm not one of these people that has to get the latest technology. I'm like, I'm still waiting if this Blu-ray thing will actually go through.
Well, I think you can be pretty certain that it's actually going to go through now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Been a
I mean, it's
couple
obviously
years now.
replaced DVD.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. You're not. I mean, until your ass crystal thing pans out, you're really not going to see anything.
I'm still
anymore.
waiting for that. You know, even with ass crystals, I'm sure Nintendo will still come up with a bunch of attachments for it.
Well, isn't the ass crystal kind of an attachment of its own?
Well, you'll have different attachments that
Oh,
will
I
be
see.
made out of various plastics.
I see.
So would that be a Japanese tickler then?
You know, Japanese Tickler, that was the name of a game show in Japan, I believe.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good.
Hmm.
Actually,
Yeah.
even though I was making that up, I'm sure that's actually a real thing in Japan.
You know, the thing I like, I find most interesting about the Slim thing is that before it actually came out, they dropped the price on the old one. You know, in case you want to buy the old one instead of waiting a week to buy the new one.
Yeah.
Well, and they tried desperately to, get rid of the old stock before they released the better one with better specs at the same price point they were selling the old one.
Yeah.
Now would actually be the good time to go out and buy the old one because they're going to have to cut the price on that even further to get it
Well.
to move.
In like a week.
Yeah. Plus, you know, the Wikipedia article for the PS3 now has to add another column to the
That's
right
it.
for the PS3.
It's actually like 5 pages wide.
That's not an exaggeration,
I
actually.
know it's like looking at the VGA
And,
standards.
there's going to be two models of the PS3 Slim. There's going to be like a 120 gig model.
Yeah, there's a 300 and a 400
Yeah.
dollar version. Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
no.
Not the word you would use. Speaking about price drops, the Xbox 360 Elite is going to drop to $299.99.
So the
Shocking.
3 people in the world that don't already have a 360, get out there.
Mm-hmm. Or you can buy one ahead of time, you know.
I'm
just to-
implying by that there's like people that have 17 different Wiis.
Well,
I
but-
don't really need one for every room of the house.
It's kind of painful that they just, don't care. $250, totally reasonable price point was 2 years ago, will be 2 years from now.
It does seem to be
This is
an
Nintendo we're talking
exercise
about.
in an exercise in properly pricing your device the first time around.
But, you know, $299, buy your, backup system just in case your old one red
I'm
rings.
somewhat convinced that they will be available later when I need one.
No.
It
Yeah.
seems likely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking at this point the PS3 is going to be a lot like the GameCube was for me last generation. It'll be the console I buy at end of life so that I have a bunch of games to play while I'm waiting for the initial price drops on the next range of consoles.
Yeah. It's like when you buy it at like $100 and you've got all these $10 games and discount bins. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that. It came out like 4 years ago. It didn't get an awful score. All right, give that a try.
Good times.
Develop a box of a stack of like 70 games that are still shrink wrapped because you haven't gotten around to them. It's like going to Brian's basement.
No, he actually opened some of those games
Yeah,
the
some of
last time. I think he's got. He's like a portal. He's like a GameStop down there.
Well, yeah, kind of. Except for games that like you would never sell at a GameStop.
Well,
because no one would know what it was.
yeah, that's true.
Probably not a big Neo Geo market at the average GameStop.
Probably not. And if there was, they'd all be gone in a day.
Hmm.
There'd be like the clandestine Neo Geo underground that would all text message each other as soon as one of them came across a Neo Geo shelf. And within an hour, they would converge like Zergs on that GameStop, and it'd all be gone. No matter the price.
Yeah, that happened when Software Etc. got rid of their Amiga section.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Need that copy of F1118 Raptor.
There's still like one Amiga game I regret not buying. I think it was called like Metal Planet. I don't know. Probably could have gotten it cheap at that sale though.
Almost certainly. Probably could have gotten it cheap at the Software Etc. going out of business sale too. They probably still had a copy or two in the back somewhere.
Second chance.
Yeah. Of course, getting to the Software Etc. meant that you had to go into that, really dark leg of the mall.
Yeah,
near
why
the photo
was it
booth.
they always made it? They always put Software Etc. in the
It's like right across from the lens crafters.
yeah, it's like
Past all the cultists in their creepy outfits.
yeah, and they're right across from like the supercuts. But the EBs always had like the good place right by the food court, but Software Etc. was always like in the boonies somewhere. It's like what?
It's right next to the restrooms, and one of them's eternally closed. There's only one restroom.
Well, the Software Etc. in the Maplewood Mall that was literally right in the retail stall right below the EB that I was working at. So we would actually call down and ask them if they had certain things for price matching. We could walk down and look in and see if they had it and walk back up again. But they were underneath the food court. So they were in like the one place that no one would ever go because who knows who goes underneath the food court to go shopping. They go to the food court and they get some of their crappy food and then they walk away from the food court, not down.
Is there just a constant drizzle of fries and orange Julius dripping down from the ceiling?
It is. It's every once in a while, the overflow from the orange Julius ruins the whole shipment of games.
Fuck our backstock.
Yes. There goes the Atari ST section.
Next up, APB accepting beta applicants, which might interest you, Steve.
I don't really. I've stopped signing up for beta applications because I never get into them. The only one I ever got into was Auto Assault, and their beta was like a week long, and I never remembered to log into it. And then when I remembered the game existed, like 2 months later, it was already out of business. So
yeah, the beta was longer than that. I got into that one earlier, but they did seem
got
to let
into
an
it
awful
earlier
lot of
than
people
me.
in.
Mine was literally like 3 or 4 weeks before the game freaking came out. It was absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, why did you send this to me? It must have been an automated system that somebody stopped playing for a while and it sends out new beta invites or something.
Well, it seems like a standard part of the massively multiplayer marketing scheme now that there's sort of a not really a beta a month before launch just to try and spread word of mouth.
Yeah, it's like a promotional freebie. Don't really get too worked up because your character is going to be deleted.
And also like
Promotional,
that
right.
whole thing that like if you pre-order the copy, we get you into the beta.
Right. And you're like, well, but it's not really a beta if I'm paying for it.
So, do you have any interest in this, John?
I was going to say, I don't know anything about the freaking game. I don't know it's not been a very well covered MMO, so.
Kotaku's paying attention. I think the only reason to get excited about it is because Crackdown was really quite good. So it'd be interesting to see if they can take some of those same ideas and make them work in APB.
Yep.
Crackdown was
And
fun.
according to the official FAQ, it will have no subscription fees. So take that what you will.
Oh, crap.
Microtransactions.
Yep. Well, suddenly my desire to play this game's gone down.
Or advertisements
Microtransactions.
plastered everywhere.
Thank you, Korean MMOs.
So next up, over 100,000 nerds sign Starcraft II LAN petition, which
Good luck with that.
Wasn't it? I thought I had read something that basically said that yes, you're going to have to be able to sign on to BattleNet to do it, but if you're playing in a LAN environment, the network stack is smart enough to know when your competitors are on the same network segment, so it won't actually have to route them to BattleNet and back. It'll actually keep them local.
I get the impression they're using BattleNet a lot like Xbox Live uses its servers, for stat tracking and
Right.
being able to keep a consistent identity through. I wouldn't be surprised if when you're playing the game, one of the players is the server.
Or something. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like a lot of Wargarble that doesn't have a lot of details behind it yet.
Why
And,
were they complaining?
what kind of LAN party doesn't have at least some kind of internet connection?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
And if you have an
oh,
internet
how
con-
hard is it? Let's have one person, hook up their iPhone and tether it, and okay, we're all authenticated.
So, all right.
I don't know. They're just complaining because they heard something, and they're StarCraft players, not geniuses.
The opinions of Steve.
They're still playing StarCraft. It's like 15 years old. They're still playing it.
Well, that's because that's the game development cycle Blizzard gives you.
Yeah.
They are making Valve look quick.
Well, that's certainly true.
Oh,
Though I'm sure it'll be down to a decade now that they've merged with Activision.
They'll bring the full corporate power to bear.
Yes.
So next up, and I'll go over this real quick because we don't really care about Europe, but the Xbox 360 Arcade is actually getting a UK price hike. So they're going to pay £30 more for their Xbox 360.
That would be euros.
It says pounds here, which I copied and
Oh, you
pasted
said UK, not Europe.
or
Got it.
whatever, UK.
Gotcha.
Same place.
Britain's still standing strong against
Yep.
the
Against the
goddamn
socialist
EU people.
euros. The socialist nanny state of the UK is standing strong against the socialist.
And what kind of nanny rules are there for Xbox 360?
Oh, I'm sure they've got some.
Don't stick the controller in your eyeball or something like that.
Well, your doctor told you not to get the controller in your eyeball, so.
So anyway, is Nanny State the name of a game, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it's actually a name of an augmented reality called Living in Britain.
By the way, I didn't add this on the news, and I just remembered it. Apparently, there's a new tycoon game coming out called Zombie Tycoon.
Alrighty then. From the makers of Prison Tycoon?
Yeah.
Well, they have that impressive track record. They do have 4 of them.
Yeah, I know. I mean, somebody's funding that bitch.
Well, what?
Do you create zombie pens and
Yeah, what's up
and
with
send
that?
them out into the world to do menial labor? I mean, that was a pretty good movie and all.
I have no idea how you would actually tycoon zombies. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Well, maybe it's like at the end of what was that movie? Zombie movie. The Brit one. The funny one.
Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead where they're like collecting carts and crap and grocery
Yeah.
store thing.
Or if you saw Fido.
I didn't see Fido.
It was pretty much that last bit of Shaun of the Dead is a full-length
Oh. That's unfortunate.
movie. It wasn't awesome.
I just can't imagine watching the last 10 minutes of Shaun of the Dead for an hour and a half.
You don't have good luck with movies, John.
I don't know. I watch a lot of crap. But that's kind of intentional.
This is
really.
why we needed Pasty to be here.
Oh.
He could be like, no, you don't watch a lot. Let me tell you about the movie I just watched. That's every Friday. I'm sitting there. He's drinking a margarita and I'm drinking a beer. He's like, let me tell you about the movie I just watched.
I did just have to pass up the 200 movie collection on Woot. Or, over, quite a lot of hours, really, of
Yes.
horror or mystery or really lots of things you don't want to watch for 200 movies worth.
Yeah. I actually got one of those, and me and Pasty and Emily actually watched through like about 3/4 of it. And wow, we didn't watch through 3/4. We watched the first 15 minutes of about 3/4 of it, and only
better
made
choice.
it through one movie. The director had a nostril fetish because he was always filming from directly underneath people's noses.
Was that one?
You got some bats in the bat cave there, buddy.
Is that was that movie where it's like the Dragon Clan or something was like that one really weird, awful kung fu movie that we watched like a couple of years ago? I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't Shaolin Dolomite.
It wasn't Shaolin Dolomite?
No.
Oh, I don't know then.
No, it was really bad.
Sounds
No,
like you just need to get one of them 100-disc changer DVD players and play movie roulette.
Yeah. Well, it only comes on, they're double-sided.
Well, that's like was it Google Seppuku, where you just get the global IME and type in some Japanese characters and then you hit enter and hope and see how many links it takes before you find something dirty.
Yeah, you type it in, you hit I'm feeling lucky.
Not recommended, by the way.
Probably not.
So next up, Quake Live adding subscriptions because the income from in-game advertising has not proven to be enough to support the project.
I don't even know anything about Quake Live. What is Quake Live?
Quake in a browser.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
Like a Flash version?
I don't know
Or
if
a
it's
Java
Flash.
version? Some sort of plug-in version?
I would imagine probably a plug-in version, but
Mm,
could be wrong.
sounds lame.
Play Quake in a browser. Awesome, I guess.
Yeah, or something.
When was the last Quake you played? Quake 1?
I actually played. I played up to Quake. Actually, I've got Quake 3 or somewhere, or whatever the Quake Wars or whatever the fuck it was called.
Quake 4. Enemy
Yeah.
Territory, I think it was called.
Yeah, but I did after I got done playing that out of pure masochistic curiosity. Looked up TTY Quake.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, it's not so great. It's remarkably well implemented if you don't mind migraines.
There's been some good hack jobs on Quake. I like the one
Yeah.
that made it look like a blueprint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
Huh.
clever.
So
So,
still, like my favorite mod is still the Wolfenstein 3D, the original one, the Pac-Man mod. Turn all the Nazis into Pac-Man.
Hmm.
Then you come down and see when you shoot them, they fall over and kind of deflate, and their eyeballs fall out and kind of flop on the ground. Pretty awesome.
Too bad they couldn't have actually just made Pac-Man.
Yeah.
'Cause that would have been kind of fun.
Well, it was kind of Pac-Man with guns when you got right down to it at that point. Although you're being shot because they didn't take out the shooting part there. 'Cause
They
you
just
can't really-
did a sprite swap.
Yeah,
really.
well, that's all you could really do with Wolfenstein 3D. But you're getting shot by Pac-Man.
so next up, Fable 3 announced. And Steve?
Sequel to a successful franchise?
Yeah, shocking.
Steve, any interest in Fable?
I don't know. My interest in Fable 2 waned pretty quickly, pretty precipitously.
Yep.
It's like I got to a certain point, I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. Apparently, the new one will have more stuff, more shit you can do with your dog, and more shit walking around following sparkly breadcrumbs.
Now,
Which is kind of a bummer, because really I think the adding more shit is what did in Fable 2. I mean,
Well,
I
they
really
are-
would have liked a much
well,
more
they are doing that with-
constrained experience.
Well, they are doing that with Fable 2. They have like a bunch of downloadable content that's coming out for Fable.
Well,
2.
no, but I
No,
mean,
but
like
they've
the
got
move
too
from
much
Fable to
stuff.
Fable 2 is
Ah.
as they just branched out too much and turned it into much more of an open world game. And it's just not as good as the other open world games that are out there.
Yeah, it's kind of well. The problem with Fable 2 is that you're kind of, I mean, okay, it's got like kind of a big open world, but it's not a really big open world, and so you kind of visit the same places over and over again. You end up buying a lot of shit, and then when you're done buying a lot of shit, you're kind of like, huh. Well, I
Uh,
bought a lot of shit.
It's not like Fable for me, where when I was going through Fable, everything you did was good. I mean, it had all been polished really quite well. In Fable 2, it seemed like there was just a lot of junk they'd stuck on the side that really wasn't worth the effort.
Didn't help that it kept locking up my 360.
That's no
Right.
good either.
Yeah, apparently that was a perennial problem. You're supposed to install it to the hard drive, and it makes it go away. Apparently, like, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So next up, because I know that Steve cares about this game oh so much, the new Earthworm Jim is actually going to be a remake of the first Earthworm Jim.
I enjoyed the first Earthworm Jim.
Well, are you willing to play it again with possibly I
More
would think 3D
polygons.
models, yeah, polygons?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. What was that? SNES? On the Super Nintendo?
Well, it was Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Yeah, if you want to make a new platformer, make it better than Braid. Good luck.
I just suggest that people avoid making platformers. It's sort of a done sort of genre.
Really?
I suppose you could say that for the 2D ones.
Yeah.
The 3D ones have gotten to be fairly interesting games because they've sort of branched out into pulling in pieces from every other genre under the sun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just really don't ever want to see a 2D platformer ever again. The 3D ones are kind of okay. It kind of depends on how they implement it. A lot of shitty people implementing shitty.
You know,
3D
there's an
platformers.
awesome 2D platformer on Xbox. You know,
Okay.
yeah, it's called Shadow Complex.
Okay.
It is 3D polygon graphics, but it's all 2D gameplay.
I don't care.
You should.
Care about it about as much as I care about shmups.
You should care about shmups.
I don't.
Well, okay. You care.
So, Pistols at Dawn then?
Yeah, apparently.
It's the only way to solve this problem.
Yes, we'll have the white gloves and we'll slap each other on the face and take 10 paces and turn around.
I'm not sure the slapping is actually required as long as you shoot each other.
Really?
Well, I mean, you have to shoot each other at each other from like 20 paces with smoothbore pistols, so you're almost guaranteed not to kill each other. So
Isn't that also a gentleman's duel? And both of us, we're not gentlemen at all.
well, we can both go.
That doesn't make us
I think
gentlemen.
that's
That
a
doesn't
major
make us a
requirement
gen-
for being a gentleman.
That's-
You have to be able to.
I suppose neither one of you has landed, are you?
No,
No,
no.
no.
The Queen has not given me any land by title.
So next up, Clash of the Titans game announced, and it is not based off the old movie. There's actually a remake movie coming out.
Huh. I was
It's
unaware.
A 2010 remake of the original film, and Namco Bandai is working on it. So,
Now, if they make it with only practical special effects, it'll be worthwhile.
oh, you mean the Ray Harryhausen stop motion dinosaurs?
Yeah,
That
well,
type
the
of stuff?
Skeletons. The skeletons were.
The skeletons, yeah.
Anything else, and it just won't be authentic.
No,
No,
it
that
won't
would
be any good.
No, that would be
What-
cool if they
what
could
I've
do
done.
the stop motion and have that on the Xbox. That'd be pretty awesome. I still wouldn't play it, but it'd still be kind of awesome.
Yeah, you don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
It'll be CG everywhere. I won't be surprised if they outsource to Squeenix.
Oh man. Well, they'll outsource to Weta.
It'll be like, that one guy with the big sword trying to find the golden fleece.
That one guy with the big sword. Okay, that kind of narrows it down to about 30 Squeenix characters.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's perfect.
The guy that has the long hair, looks like
Yeah.
a girl, has
Has that-
belts and zippers for
Well,
an outfit.
Well, he's
I'm
got
not
the-
sure we need any more anime-style adaptations of Greek history.
Well, here. There's no holds barred left after Hetalia. Really, that's, opens up the whole field for just any whack ass thing that you want to do at this point. What? Yaoi personified, characters representative of countries in World War II? Let's do it!
Stranger ideas have been drawn.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, what's the World War II strategy game that they're making now that's just like anthropomorphized planes as
Oh, was
girls?
it Strike Angels? I think it's called, or something like that.
Yeah.
Roger has the art book of that at his store. Thought I'd mention that.
If you keep it behind the counter and
Yeah.
pet it?
No,
Are you going to buy a copy of that, Murdock?
no.
They're not lowly enough for you?
Well, nothing's lowly now. Oh wait. Oh shit.
Well, see. Next week, join us with our new host, right? And we'll have Murdock on Skype from San Quentin.
Yeah, it's like now Diehard Gamer Radio, and someone's knocking at the cell.
Yeah,
Quiet, lights out.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm here with special guest Pedo Bear.
Yeah.
No, Strike Angels never interested me. It's hey, here's 13-year-old girl dressed up as a Messerschmitt.
It's a
But-
weird idea.
Yeah, doesn't really interest me that much. Now, if they made the game and it was like Ace Combat, that'd be kind of cool because then you could be able to see
You
them
just
being shut
fly
down.
around trying to get a panty shot. You wouldn't even
Well,
shoot down the other planes.
Oh man, oh that would suck. All right, next up, and this will interest no one. The World of Warcraft the magazine is happening, and I have John's comment here on the footnote. So if you want to read it, John, number 6. Oh, you're not going to play along, are you? Guess not. Paper media, irrelevant.
Good work. No reason this couldn't just be a news screen on when you launch your WoW client.
Or,
really?
worldofwarcraft.com or mmorpg.com.
I don't really understand. I mean, they're
Unless
sort of their subscription level is sort of peaked. So I'm really not sure. This should have been something they did like 3 years ago.
unless there's centerfolds in the magazine, which is why they need to go to
Yeah,
this.
there's just sexy night elves in the middle of the.
It's all horde.
What else is it going to be? Like strategies for raiding or something? But I mean,
That
you
everybody
find
already
all of that
knows on their
online.
forums.
But,
Yeah. So there better be something special for someone to want to, buy a paper magazine for WoW.
And 20 pages of game developer reviews isn't going to be it.
Yeah, and you could read the Slashdot thread on that.
Yeah, or you can just wait for Sorlac to actually just paste it to you on IRC.
Is he still Is he still giving you all those?
Yeah, he
was it
gives
the
me
Star
the
Trek?
URLs for the Star Trek Online dev chats.
By the way, how's that coming along?
Yeah, who knows? It was on the front of PC Gamer this month, I guess.
Was it the same screenshot that you saw before?
I didn't even look at the magazine. I'm like, it's going to be the same screenshots. There's like, ooh, a ship. Ooh, a different ship. An asteroid belt and a picture of a planet. All right, that's what you got.
Woo! Let's sign up for that one.
Yeah.
So next up, speaking about Warcraft, World of Warcraft Cataclysm announced, which is the fourth expansion, third expansion, right?
Didn't they just come out with Lich King?
It's been
A while ago, I guess.
It's been a year, hasn't it?
Sounds like
I
the
don't think
interesting
so.
thing about this one is it's going to totally change the world. Even all the existing areas are going to be altered.
That's great. Could they change some of the play mechanics so PvP isn't stupid?
No.
Level cap to 85, blah, blah, blah. Not your first pony ride, I'm sure.
Nope. Well, I mean, it really is. They probably do have to speed up their expansion release schedule because they're just trying to. I mean, there's no point in starting that game now. There is 0 point in starting to play Warcraft now if you've never played it before.
So they're just putting out content to keep the existing player base playing, you figure.
Well, I mean, to get to the important, updated, interesting parts of the game, you have to go 70 levels, 80 levels now.
Doesn't that take like a week?
If you've got nothing else to do.
Doesn't that take like a week?
If you played for 24 hours straight, yeah, maybe you could do it in a couple weeks, but that's why they moved your now you can get mounts at level 20 and it costs like 5 gold to get it because you're running your ass around every place and they're not updating. I mean, those areas are pretty much dead now, so
You mean like the beginning starting areas?
this beginning starting areas, the beginning middle areas, like 1 through 50 kind of not so usable anymore. Or, well, kind of usable if you like grinding alone.
Wow.
That's exactly what you seek out a massively multiplayer online game for.
It's called Lineage. Or, well, you can't do that in Final Fantasy 11 because if you don't have a group, you're going to die.
You have to group grind in
Yep.
horrible, boring isolation.
Yeah, pretty much. You have to, and you're going to get killed by a rabbit.
Yeah, level 1 rabbit.
Yep.
So if you have a group in Final Fantasy 11 and all of you die
Yeah.
after being killed by that one rabbit, do you all lose experience points at the same time?
Oh, I'm sure. At least that's how it used to work in the first gen MMOs.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would have made it any easier. I mean,
Yeah.
11 seems to be all about the masochism.
It is.
Yeah.
Although they did apparently do an Eve-like banhammer craziness on Final Fantasy 11 recently.
Well, they also did a banhammer on Eve. They found
I
Yes,
just
as you
said that.
mentioned.
you said Final Fantasy.
An Eve-like banhammer on Final Fantasy.
Yes,
Yes, they
massive
did.
bannings. Woo!
Though the difference in that is there's actually an appeals process that sometimes gets you unbanned in Eve. Not so much in Final Fantasy.
Well, you do have to put your letter in Japanese. I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a barrier.
Well, there's always Final Fantasy 14, which is another MMORPG.
Wow.
I think they would have learned from 11.
Well, I mean, they have a subscriber base that is somewhat addicted to their game, so you know.
Well, I mean, you have to be. It takes that long just to kill one creature.
So you're actually going to play 12?
I've played Final Fantasy 12. I beat 12. Are
Oh,
you talking 13?
I suppose, then.
Well, if I do play it, it'll be on a PlayStation 3. As apparently the Xbox 360 version of Final Fantasy 13 will be on 3 discs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, how could that?
The pain.
How will you ever survive?
Yeah. Plus, it's Final Fantasy. I don't want people knowing I'm playing Final Fantasy. So if I'm on my PlayStation, people won't know. So I'm kind
But
of
after you earn those trophies, they'll still show up in your little Habbo house.
no one. Yeah. I never bothered with home. I just like it was hard enough just to get, started with the PlayStation 3. It is not a user-friendly system, although I believe there's going to be an update for like a major update for the PlayStation 3 on September 1st.
Not just an update where we tweak the background color.
No, this
100
is like
meg download.
no,
Thank you.
this is like a major
No, they're
update.
saying a major update anyway. We'll see.
They
Yeah.
tweaked the background and the foreground.
Yeah,
color.
Well,
yeah.
Hopefully, make it more user friendly so you can actually buy shit. That'd be nice. So
Don't hold
anyway,
your breath.
yeah, this is Sony we're talking about. Oh, and Brian's not here, and they announced the release date for Gran Turismo 5. They're saying the end of this year, but I don't believe them. So
That makes you a smart man.
Yeah.
not that I have any interest in simulation
Seems
racing games.
unlikely.
I had more fun with Outrun than I did with playing Gran Turismo for an hour.
Yeah, of course, the bummer is it's going to come out and you're going to have to listen to all the racing fans talk about how it's the greatest game ever for like 5 years.
And the people on Forza 3 are going to be like, yeah, and where was this a month ago?
We've been playing our game for 3 years now.
The best racing game ever was Space Harrier.
It's not
What?
a
It's
racing
not racing.
game.
In a racing game, you don't get to the goal and then have to fight a boss.
Well,
Maybe you should.
maybe you should and make it better.
Yeah, NASCAR would be much more interesting if there was, like a Gru at the end of the race course or something like that.
Yeah, it's
Speaking
like,
of games that need more bosses,
Oh yeah.
it actually does look really nice. I wouldn't want to play it, but it does look really nice.
Are we talking about number 12?
Yeah.
Buying Madden at Walmart
Yeah.
and you get free deodorant?
I was
which,
watching
which
a
really
little,
is a good promotion. I mean,
Or-
there's
or
all
shaving
sorts
cream.
of other games they should just bundle deodorant with, really.
It's probably a good idea. Actually.
You
It's
mean like Final Fantasy 11?
The whole shelf of JRPGs, really. Just shrink wrap that onto the box.
So free Noxzema skin cream with purchase of Persona.
Yeah.
Any other ones that we can come up with now that we're delivering the funny?
No,
Ah, you fail.
you ruined it.
You pointed out the funny, and now it goes away.
Oh,
See, you can't do that.
oh! So if I stare at the funny, it disappears.
Yep, pretty much.
Can't look directly at the funny.
Oh,
It
it's like
is,
staring at a solar eclipse.
It's like a dream that if you grasp too hard, it will flitter away in the wind.
I don't know if this is this
It's like star systems where you tighten your grip and they slip through your fingers.
All right. So
It's like
So is this an awesome cross promotion idea thing?
Yes, there can be nothing wrong with this plan.
Well, I guess free deodorant is always the right answer. I'm not sure why they targeted Madden
can
fans
you
for
pick
that.
the deodorant that you get?
Well, it's
I think
probably
it was an Axe promotion or something.
No,
No,
it's-
that's unfortunate. That's not deodorant. That's make you stinkier in a different way.
it's Madden scented deodorant.
Smells like the inside of Madden's bus.
Do you like the
New
smell of
locker room scent.
Do you like the smell of pork chops and leather?
And
Have I got a
turducken?
deodorant for you?
Do you like the smell of turducken? Well, now you can smell like it all the time. That's great.
Hey, when Madden dies and they come up with the replacement for Madden, they'll just have another promotion. Les Steckel 11.
Less Deckle 11. The only thing that was not good when I was sitting at Micro Center watching the demo play of this on their big screen.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that they really it looks like a really good game. It's a very good looking game. I don't know if it's a good game or not because I haven't played a Madden since like '93. But the only thing that's wrong with the motion capture is that dumb thing that they do in motion capture when somebody turns on an axis without moving and they turn too fast. It's like they didn't capture the whole rotation. They just go floop, floop. It's like a one-dimensional.
Or they don't
object
really have
flipping.
an animation for them turning. They
Yeah.
just kind of rotate the
They
model. Or...
well, it rotates, but it rotates really fast. It turns much faster than any human would ever want to, rotate.
So
on
it's
their
like one of
axis.
those old football games where you turn it on and start vibrating and you see all the little football guys.
No, it's like it's like when they turn and they're standing one place. If they're actually running, they'll turn and they'll do like these gradual turns and it looks pretty good. But if they're standing in one place, as soon as they turn, it looks like the turns only really happen in 90-degree increments. And so anytime they turn at an inhuman speed to one side or the other. It's very
So it's like Gauntlet.
yeah. It's very uncanny valley sort of thing. Like it looks like a real person. Whoa, what was that?
I think my problem with sports games is actually that they're too hardcore, and they're such an insular genre that one, you have to know the sport and you have to know it well, and if you haven't played like the last 3 iterations and know how all the mechanics works and all the details that are layered on them, I mean, these are really games that are built for the person who's going to play this one game for the next year, and trying to be an outsider coming into them, they're just hard to learn.
Yeah. Oh, well, you also have to have an interest in the sport. I mean, really. I mean, I
don't know if that's true.
Well, I mean, it
there's
does.
all sorts of games that have stupid themes that the games are good.
Yeah, but I mean, I have no interest in playing football. I mean, I didn't have interest in playing football when I was young and had to, play it for real in gym class and always get picked last. Not that I'm going to go over that painful chapter in my life again, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I have no real interest in playing these types of games like baseball or anything. I just have no interest in sports. I mean, I don't know.
And they're all right. I mean, they're not terribly interesting games to play, if you ask me. I'd much rather watch a football game than play one.
Well, you'd rather just watch the cheerleaders.
Sometimes the cheerleaders are not as attractive as you might think.
Yeah, high definition does have that going against it.
Well, sometimes they're just kind of generic looking. It's like, I don't know.
So NFL,
I don't know what
if
you
you're
want out of me.
listening, hire more fetish models.
Well, perhaps.
Well, consider the type of audience that watches football games and the types of fetishes that they may have. That may be a combination that you don't want.
I'm not really sure where you're going with that particular train of thought.
I was trying to think of something, but I really...
Yeah, you
I
kind of
just
failed.
couldn't- yeah.
You want to try that one again, or we'll
Nope.
edit out the other one?
Nope.
All right.
I had an idea, and it just kind of went nowhere.
Well,
Right, doomed to failure. We looked into the funny, and the funny looked back through us.
so it would seem.
So no sports games for us. Although I will say that the best hockey game ever made, Blades of Steel.
No, ice hockey, man.
Oh.
Ice hockey was the best hockey video game ever made.
No, Blades of Steel wasn't. I'll tell you why.
I know, because when you fight, whoever loses goes in the penalty box. But you had the skinny guy in ice hockey. And if you had the skinny guy in ice hockey, you could keep the puck for the entire game and no one else could catch you.
Yeah, but
it was awesome.
During halftime of Blades of Steel, you could play a stage of Gradius.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
No, it's not.
Now, what I do wonder, though, speaking of football type things, is we recently had that new Blood Bowl game come out on the PC. That'd be interesting if they did a console port.
Was
If
this
there's any
like
hope of that?
What is that like? Oh God, EA made a whole bunch of these. Was it like Mutant
It's
League
kind
Football?
of like Mutant League Football, only good. Yes,
Like Graveyardage.
only good.
Nothing wrong with Graveyardage. Just because it was made in like the 286 era doesn't mean it
It is bad. It's old, so now it's bad.
Oh,
Don't you understand that,
Okay,
Steve?
okay,
Jeez.
okay. The on other PC related fronts, as I was bitching about this weekend, the Battlefield 1943 port for a PC has been delayed until next year, which once again reminds me why it's so hard to frickin' get into PC gaming these days. Since the
Well, you need to
developers
have the
keep
game to
dropping the
begin
ball.
with. Yeah.
Well, it could be worse. You could be a Mac gamer.
Well,
Wait, what?
But then you have boot camp. And then you're just stuck with the rest of the PC gamers now.
I suppose.
Yeah.
True enough.
So
Not
so
so
Mac
great.
users, fire up that boot camp and get ready to play Prison Tycoon 3.
Or 4.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Might even be a 5 out now.
Seems unlikely.
I don't know. After 4, I mean, when
No,
they
they-
added women inmates, I don't know how much more they can really
No,
do.
they have to come up with the battle chest first,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and probably the 30 patches to make it playable. But still,
No, that's unnecessary. Nobody actually plays Prison Tycoon.
you experience it.
Played it for 10 minutes. After I played it for 10 minutes, it stopped ever rotating in my CD player ever again. So yeah, not good. Bad.
All
Bad.
right.
And
So
not bad to the bone.
So anyway, that's it. Listeners note, we will be at Non-DesCon September 11th. So if you want to visit us in person, except for John, feel free to,
Are you actually doing a podcast from the convention?
I tried on occasion to get the podcast as like a panel or something, and people are like, "Well, there's way too many people who want to do podcasts at NDK, and with our content, blah 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 blah." Long story.
Didn't you do one last year?
Well,
Oh, you did
we did Game Turkey.
Turkey last year. Yeah, because the content for that was totally different than from Diehard Gamer.
Yeah,
Radio.
we could have a question and answer session at Non-DesCon for Diehard Gamer Radio, and the first question is going to be, well, who the fuck are you?
Who is
people?
Diehard Gamer Radio? We're like, we've had 74 episodes.
73.
Yeah.
Well, there's that hidden show
Quantity over
0.
quality.
Well, there was the extra show.
Yeah, the hidden show.
It was that retail. Did the retail show count?
Well,
as a
no, there's
show?
a retail special and the arcade special,
So we've done 75 episodes actually.
and the bloopers.
That's not really an episode. That's parts of other episodes.
That's filler.
That was
It's
stuff
official
that you
filler.
that stuff that you were too much of a scaredy cat to put in the early podcast.
And now I don't care.
well now
You
you,
got
don't
lazier
edit the
and-
podcast.
And realize that, wow,
That Keegan's
nobody
not
listens
gonna be
to
offended.
it, so no reason to worry about offending anyone.
So I think that's it for the podcast. I think I don't think of anything.
You think you can? You think you can? You think you can? You think
I
you
think
can?
I could, but I really can't. I mean, I'm kind of losing it here.
We're just done, so be done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.